one thing my mom always used to tell me is relationships can get you into things that money can never get you into.
That's so good.
Ever get you into. And I'm a firm believer on not burning relationships. I might not agree with you, or I might not agree with something you say, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect you, and I'm going to be able to keep that line of communication.
What's up? Welcome to No Walls Podcast. You are listening on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, however you're listening, we say welcome. We are excited that you're tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share like crazy because it really, really does help. We've got some exciting things happening at TheBrick.Church. One of them is we have a conference coming up.
Yes, sir.
For the first time ever, Occupy All Streets Conference. It is our student leadership conference, and what's happening is our heartbeat is that God has called students to be leaders today, that the calling on their life isn't called to be delayed, but that right now in their streets, they can have actual influence. And so in this conference, we're going to bring in people who are from Muskogee, who were raised in Muskogee, who are actually helping build Muskogee to help these students understand that it's not ethereal, that you can actually make a tangible, real difference with your gift set, with your call, with your story. And so you can click on the QR code on the screen or link in the below and find out how to register for the event. It's 6th through 12th grade, $50 students ahead, but we've got something special today. In anticipation for Occupy All Streets, I started thinking through, like, what could we do with no walls to make it feel a little different than normal? And I was like, well, if we're going to bring guests speak at the event, we got to bring guests speak on the podcast. Yeah. So I started praying and thinking through, like, who's the best person to have a conversation with about occupying these streets. And I mean, there's no better person than my brother, my friend, Duan Morris.
Oh, man.
We were so excited to have you, bro.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. That is too kind. I feel like I'm doing okay, but the way you just described me just made me a little bit happier, and I'm gonna keep smiling.
Yeah, come on. That smile's worth $1 million.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate both of y'all. I appreciate both of y'all.
I appreciate you being here, man.
So, man, how long have you lived in Muskogee?
I've lived in Muskogee my entire life. I moved away 2 years. I lived in Lod. My mom had to do this payback for her education. Mm-hmm. But I am from here, bred here, raised here, seen everything here.
Come on.
I love it here in Muskogee, man. So, yeah, I've been here. I'm 31, so 31 years.
31. Let's go.
Yeah.
So you graduated from MHS, right?
Yes, sir. 2011.
2011?
Yeah. The perfect ones. The perfect ones.
Come on. So what is it that you do for a living right now?
Right now, I have a moving company, Morris Moving Company. It has been since 2015, August of 2015. So we're coming up on 9 years.
Let's go.
I have a crew of about 10 to 12 right now, and we move everything from residential, commercial, logistics. We just got into, and this is a brand new news drop. We're now about to do patient transportation. So, like, if somebody needs to go to an appointment and nobody can do it, we are now subcontracting with people that have, of course, we background check them and things of that nature. We'll be able to use their vehicle, and we'll give them compensation for taking them to their appointments. So that's what we're just now doing as well. On top of that, we do furniture rearrangal. We do attic rearrangal. So, a lot of these boomer babies, I'm going to say, they have a lot of stuff in their attic.
Yeah, they do.
And there's been a need for people to go get into their attic because they haven't been in their attic for 10, 15 years. They don't even know what they have in there. So we do that as well. We do a wipeout of houses. Yeah. So if, like, somebody is moving out of the house, or unfortunately somebody passes away and they don't need anything, they just want everything out the house, we'll get everything out the house for them. If they want us to do an estate sale, we can do that as well for them. So we have different options under the umbrella of Morris Moving Company.
That's incredible, bro. That's incredible. So as a student pastor, what I see a lot are students like you, like me, who are from here, raised here. I'd be curious to know, like, what was it like for you, like, growing up inside Muskogee? So you've been here for 31 years, bro. That's a long time.
Yeah, bro. I grew up 6001 West Oak Muggy. For anybody that's watching this, you can pull it up on Google, and it is not the same house that I grew up in. It's pretty close to it, but the how can I say this? The roof has caved in on it now.
Oh, no.
So humble beginnings. Humble beginnings.
Come on.
Grew up on the west side. Went to Sadler Arts Academy, where my son goes.
Come on, mine too. Mine too.
Yeah. And so,
Rising star, baby.
come on, man. We Sadler shining stars around here. But grew up on the west side of Muskogee. I want to say I was very multi-talented in a lot of things that I do. I like to play basketball. I like to dance. I like to play the drums. I like to sing. I just like to do a lot of things. If something that I just like gravitates me to like work my brain or anything like that, I truly like to do. And one thing I can honestly say is Muskogee has allowed me to just be me. You know, a lot of people complain about Muskogee as far as like there's nothing to do, but having a small community has its benefits. And a lot of the people that I know here have watched me growing up and have seen me and has told me, you know, Duan, you were always different, but we always knew there was something special about you. Or, Duan, we always knew that, you know, you like different things, but this is your area. I'll give you one prime example real quick. His name is Dice Dawson.
Dawson.
I know everybody knows Dice Dawson.
Old Dice.
But I recently seen him like 2 weeks ago. And I went to this camp at Connor State College. And as Coach Muse, shout out to Coach Muse, he threw this week camp that you stay there for the week. They feed you, or they dorm you, they feed you, and you have camp literally all day. It literally prepares you for the next level, which I look back at it now and it's like, man, like that camp was like way above its time. But yeah, you go there, you dine there, you have skills drills around like noon or 1 o'clock. You like watch film, and then you go swim, and then you go back to playing basketball, and then we played ones, and then we played 5-on-5. But anyway, it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I think I may have been like 8 or 9 years old, and I had like my practice pad with me. We were on our way back to the dorms, and they did a room check. Well, he was one of the counselors there at the time, and he saw me practicing my drums. And usually Coach Dice would just go from room to room. And this time he just stopped, and he was like, Duan, I was like 8 or 9. He was like, this is your talent. He was like, not saying that basketball is not your talent, but you have a musical, artistic gift that can't be explained right now. But I'm telling you, fast forward to 2 weeks ago, I saw him, and I teach drum lessons at Zomac now, and he was like, what did I tell you a long time ago?
Come on.
Same thing. So that's just one example, but I've had many people encourage me to dance, to be artistic, to, you know, coach basketball or whatever the case may be. So I will honestly say that this place in Muskogee, Oklahoma, encourages you to do whatever you truly want to do. Not slandering football or basketball or anything, specifically sports, but just to be who you truly want to be. And that's what I love about Muskogee, and that's what I'm pushing towards and trying to help people understand that you can truly be whatever you want to be here.
Yeah.
Just got to put the work in.
I love that.
Sure. I know I took y'all on a round trip, but
no,
it just had to be explained. You know,
you ain't got nowhere to be.
Speaking of that, so you have a business. You're an entrepreneur. Your business has almost existed for 10 years, which is wild. That's a huge accomplishment.
Appreciate it, man.
Where do you think that came from? That entrepreneurial, I can't say the word. That spirit. Like, did you get that from Muskogee? Is that something that's just always kind of been in you? Like, where did that come from?
Man, it was organic, bro. I feel like God gave me an entrepreneurial spirit. Shout out to my mom.
Come on.
Because she brings it up all the time. I can only give you stories to kind of like tell you kind of where it begins.
Yeah, we love that.
I always just wanted to buy my own things. Even though my mom could, I always just kind of always wanted my own and didn't have to ask. And this is a crazy story, but it has to be said. Yeah. I think I was 10 years old, maybe 11 years old. My brother-in-law, his name's Edison Hill, he had some drumsticks. He didn't want them. And it could have been 15, 20 pair of drumsticks that he was just like, oh, you can have them, because he knew I played the drums. Yeah. Well, I only needed like 2 pairs. Like, I wasn't just breaking sticks. So one day I just took the sticks to school and sold them for $2 a stick, $2 a pair. So I ended up making like, 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
So I come home with this money, and my mom's like, boy, where you get this money from? I was like, oh, I sold the drumsticks that my brother-in-law gave me. My brother-in-law Edison gave me. And all she could do was just shake her head and start laughing. She was like, hey, son, yeah, exactly. So that's where the start happened. Fast forward, I always told her I will always give her flowers. Her name is Jasmine Hooks. She graduated in 2009. We were in band together, and I was a freshman in high school. And I remember seeing her. She had this big, I don't want to say it was a duffel bag, but it was like a regular, like, kind of like a carry-on bag type deal. Not big enough for a duffel bag, but just, one of them carry-on bags. Yeah. And, man, she had chips, candy, everything. It was bad. Not bad. It was good, but it was just like, it was bad in the sense of like, man, she had everything. Like you couldn't say you didn't want anything, because I'm pretty sure if you asked her for it, she would have it the next day.
Come on.
So she would have that, and then she would have a cooler. And the cooler was so discreet that you kind of really didn't even know that it was a cooler. And basically, I just seen her hustling every day. She would hit the band, of course, because we was out in the morning at 6 a.m. practicing. And I was one of them loyal customers. I needed my Capri Sun. I needed my oatmeal cream pie, and I needed my Skittles for the noons, so just in case. But I seen her hustle. I seen her do it every day to the point where I asked her, sophomore year, she was a senior. She was leaving, and I just simply asked her, hey, can I take over for what you're doing? And she basically told me, Duan, you're the first person to ask me, so absolutely, I'll help you. And it went from her teaching me how to do the game, and I respectfully let her continue to do it until she graduated. So I didn't even start selling until she graduated, because I didn't even want to get into the revenue. I wanted her to respect her revenue as far as her giving me the game. But the next year, I had it on lock, and I had it even better. I was the drum major, and I had DECA. And so I got out around like 11 or 12 o'clock. This is my junior and my senior year. Yeah. So I was good with a lot of the teachers there. Man, I would make my rounds. It got so bad my senior year. I can't remember which principal, and I can't truly remember what, if it was a teacher or a principal. They shut me down. They put it over the intercom.
Oh, man.
It was that bad. I was raking in, bro. I was raking it in. And
how much money do you think you were making?
Bro.
Please had to guess.
Honestly, bro, I was probably bringing in close to $600-700 a week.
Oh my God.
As a junior in high school?
Yeah, bro. That's a lot. I was probably bringing in $600-700 a week, bro. It was all cash. So it was.
You ain't got no taxes.
No, I ain't got no taxes.
Bro.
IRS don't come for me. I was a kid. I was 16 years old at the time. But yeah, that's that's how it started. And it was organic. It was natural for me. I knew what to do. It clicked for me. It allowed me to grow. It allowed me to have customer service, because you couldn't be mean. You had to be a people person. For all entrepreneur people, if you truly want to be an entrepreneur and take your business to the next level, you have to be a serial killer communicator. Okay, yeah. I had to say that all together so people don't think that I'm calling them a serial killer. You got to be a serial killer communicator, and what that basically means is you have to be able to understand what it's like to be in their shoes, even if it's selling candy, even if it's just, hey, okay, you don't like Skittles? What you want? Some Twizzlers? Oh, you don't want Twizzlers? Oh, you like Starburst? Okay, you know what? I got some for you. Here you go. Matter of fact, I'm going to give this to you this time for free just because I want you to come to me tomorrow. And 9 times out of 10, they coming to you the next day because you're like, you know what? Duan didn't have to do that. Or there's something about Duan. And I'm only talking about myself because I don't want to put anybody else in there. Yeah. But there's something about Duan. There's something about Taylor. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to understand and be able to understand that there's things that can be nonverbal, but if you truly understand them, they're always come to you. Fast forward to that was 2010, 2011. Let's fast forward to 2013, 14. Crazy year for me. Bro, I had every job. I don't know if you remember. I was working at Economy Pharmacy. shout out to them. They gave me my true first job, like my first, 8 to 5 job. And God was truly working in that because he, at the time, economy, when you got hired there, you got off at 6:30. Mm-hmm. But the way things worked out, God showed me favor. And some of the people either retired during that time. The owners were expanding. So some of the people that they had at Muskogee, they were moving to Tulsa. So I kind of just like, God graced me into that 5 o'clock spot. So I had worked 8 to 5. I worked 8 to 5, and then I got off. I went to the swim and fitness, taught, my class there, left the swim and fitness, and then taught at Champions right after that. And that was that was Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on Mondays, I would teach at Showbiz. Yeah, so it was just like I was connected and busy through those times. The summer of 2014 or 13, I should say, I had went down to stay with my cousin that lived in Denver. Her name's Antoinette. And they allowed me to stay basically the whole summer. This was before I had kids. This was before I was committed to my now wife. And he had a moving company down there. And he allowed me to see the logistics down there. He allowed me to stay there with them and basically kind of just see the ins and outs. Even let me work a couple of jobs with him. And he saw that, like, man, okay, I don't really have to tell Duan what to do. Mm-hmm. He just kind of has it. Now, hindsight's 20/20. I'm talking in past tense, of course, but this is basically how he was thinking. And we had a conversation. His name is Jesse Kyle. And he said, Duan, look, I'm not going to hold you up, man. Like, there's something special about you. It goes back to all the way. Come on. When I was 8, 9 years old. There's something special about you, man. I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, granted, he didn't have to. He didn't owe me nothing. He didn't have to show me how to do anything. But he gave me that opportunity and that grace to do it. And so he gave me the game, man. So I stayed down there pretty much the rest of the summer, I want to say. And he showed me how to do everything, showed me how to do checks and balances, showed me how to charge for trucks and how much to pay my guys and how to give them bonuses, all of it. I mean, literally gave me the game. I still have my notebook. I should have brought it. I didn't bring it. But he showed me how to do it. I stayed down there 2013, 2014. Moved back home, essentially. Told my mom I wanted to open up a moving company down here. And she kind of like, huh? It's like, yeah. They want to start a moving company. She goes, okay. All right, if that's what you want to do, okay. So July of 2015, I started Morris Moving Company and got everything together. I had to make sure I got my, my tax ID and all that different kind of stuff. But we started there, and I was still working. I ended up having to get another job, so I started working at Walgreens at the time. And I worked Walgreens, and then when I had my moves on the weekend, I would do those moves on the weekends, and it'd build over time. Fast forward to 2017. Stop me whenever y'all want me to. Fast forward to 2016. My wife now, but fiance at the time, we found out that she was expecting unexpectedly. We weren't planning a child, but we found out that she was that we were pregnant with our first child, my son Nehemiah, aka Nemo, and it was time for me to truly grow up, which I felt like I was growing up, but you know how that goes. Yeah. So I applied to work at the VA hospital. And I was a pharmacy tech at the time. And I applied there and was still working Morris Moving Company. And during that time, I worked there. I don't know if y'all know about the VA hospital, but it takes a while. It's a process. So once you apply, you just don't work there. It could take anywhere from 6 to 7, 8 months to get everything in. So I got all that in the end of 2015-ish, beginning of 2016. I got a call from them the summer of 2016 around, July, August. And I started working there in December. And at that time, my moving company was truly picking up. Now, it wasn't enough for me to quit my job, but it was nice to have that extra cash coming in. And to make a long story short, the moving company started becoming what I was making at the VA hospital. And I heard God tell me I had to choose like, basically like, hey, there's going to be some changes coming up. You're going to have to, choose. And I said, God, am I going to have to choose? And he just kind of didn't say anything to me. And it was a lot going on. My wife just had a child. Nehemiah, he was like 4 or 5 months already out, and we were living in an apartment complex. My wife at the time was not working, so it was just a lot going on. Trying to space and work my business, work my regular job, have time with my wife, have time with my son. Just creating that balance is very tough at 24 years old.
Yeah.
And I struggled a lot with it, and I worked at the VA from December to April. I walked in. I was on my way into work, and one of the managers, who will remain nameless, called me into the office. I was still under my probation, and they let me go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they let me go. It caused a big ruckus at the VA after that, because there were some things that they did that were not protocol, and there were some things that they missed. And honestly, how they did me, it changed for the better of the VA, because there's way more rules and regulations you got to do before you can do what they did to me now, which I'm grateful that. I was upset at the time, but I'm grateful that they changed it so nobody else can get treated the way that they treated me. But at that moment, I cried. I ain't gonna lie. Because I was like, what am I gonna do? I got a brand new kid. I gotta, like, God, you're supposed to be helping me. This was dedicated, true income coming in. I got my benefits, God, you're supposed to, And he said, don't you think I have taken care of you this long? You think I'm gonna leave you? And at the time, I was 24 years old. I didn't want to hear that. God, no, I want this right, And I remember calling my mom. First of all, I called my wife, Lily, because we had only been married for like 5 months. At that time, your husband just lost his job 5 months into the marriage. That ain't no good look. And I remember her telling me it's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Let's God for a strong woman in your life.
Come on, man. She's been a great supporter in that aspect for sure. And then I called my mom. And I told her the same thing, and she said, Duan, it's going to be all right. God's going to provide. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to bed that night, and this was a little two-bedroom apartment in Muskogee. And I went to the front room, and I went to go pray. And I said, God, I know what you said that you have me, but Lord, if this is truly what you want me to do, please provide. Please let me go without. Not without, and man, I have not gone without, man. I can't explain it. There was times when I was down some money, and God has shown out every single time, to the point where I've gone into business meetings. I've gone in to talk to people that have seen my concept in my moving company, and they're like, how are you still in business? Like you don't do the normal. You don't like promote your business like that. You don't spend thousands of dollars on advertisement. You don't do any of that. I'm like, man,
Jehovah
God,
Jireh, bro.
man. Yeah, like I can't get this. Only God. I can only tell you God, and just the people that I've been able to interact with. That entrepreneurial spirit that you were talking about. Yeah. That I just feel like that God chose me for that, and to be a example and to be a testimony that God will use anybody. He ain't gonna just leave you behind. If you feel like that God is wanting you to do that, lean into it. You just gotta lean. You know what I mean? I tell my son all the time, lean into being a leader. Yeah. I show him videos of like people skydiving, and he was like, Daddy, you going to skydive? I'm like, no, I ain't gonna skydive. I skydive for Jesus, but I ain't skydiving in real life. But the main point is once you lean out of the plane, God gonna push you the rest of the way. Yeah, so all he needs you to do is just lean. Yeah. And I feel like
a little bit of movement.
Yeah, man. I feel like once I was in that plane when I got fired from the VA, and I feel like I had to lean out of there to get out of there, and God pushed me and has been my parachute ever since, man. So
I love that, bro. I think listening to your story, it's beautiful, bro. It's like it's an incredible story. There's something that sticks out to me specifically. It's like there's two things. Is one, I don't feel like you miss moments. So it's like, I think one of the things that's encouraging about your story is because I think someone could listen to it, it's like, well, that's cool for Duan, except that like everyone's having those moments. I think what sets you apart is you don't miss them. I think people are getting moments all the time. I think like think about, like, you're talking about Dice, and then like the what was the student in 09? What was that?
Her name's Jasmine Hooks.
Jasmine, yeah. So it's like all these people that are just normal people. Like you don't, like, they're not on the radar. Like you're not headhunting a mentor. They just kind of show up. Yeah. And there's two things that it seems that you have that made you able to take advantage of almost all of them, it sounds like. And one is you're really, really grateful.
I was, bro.
Like you don't, it's honestly, it's really impressive, man, to be like, to grow up in Muskogee, to be from Muskogee, and to build what you've built and to be a part of what you've been a part of and to see all the cool things that have happened. And then their personality is so magnetic. Like, I mean, anyone listening can tell, like, bro,
I appreciate
nobody you want to go, there's nobody you want to like have lunch with more than you. Like, and so like those things can like be all kinds of birthplaces for us to be overconfident, prideful. And it's like you and your story of how amazing your journey has been and the cool things you've been a part of, you didn't miss a moment to communicate gratitude. Like God did this and they did this and they showed up there. And I think for me, it's really, really impactful. It's really encouraging. It's inspiring. I think it's helpful to realize that like gratitude will get you so far in life, and it'll help you not miss the moments when God's sending the Dices, the Jasmines, the whoever else is in your story. Like they come in, being able to be like appreciative of the opportunities afforded you allows you to maximize the opportunity. The second thing is you seem super teachable, bro. Like you don't like you're watching her work the game and like taking notes, bro. You've got your who was in Colorado? What was that person's name?
His name was Jesse.
Jesse. So you go to Jesse, and it's like you're getting to learn, and like you're taking notes. And I think, man, like in a generation specifically now, especially talking about Occupy All Streets, and talking about 6th through 12th graders, like everybody wants to be a voice. Everyone wants to be shouting, but it's like you have to be an echo before you can be a voice.
For sure.
And what seems really unique about your story is like you just weren't afraid to be like, I'm just taking notes, bro. Like, I don't need to come in here and run your show. Nope. Like, put me on game. I'll take notes, and then I'll make it better on my end. But, like, I think so many people want to rush that process, and they want to skip a step. Like, no, I'll take it now. Like, so I imagine when you were, like, in high school and in Colorado and all the different things there have been moments where you're like, dude, I can do that better. Like, now I can do that better. How'd you stay teachable in those moments? How'd you not rush the process? You seem to have done a beautiful job of just trusting the journey and not feeling like it's your job to move it or to force it or to push it. How did you stay in that spot?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Primarily, I ain't had no money. So,
what else?
You know what I mean? Money will slow you down. If you ain't got humbly, I mean, we didn't grow up poor. Let me say that, people from the wall, the brick, we didn't grow up poor. I never missed a meal. I've always had a roof over my head. But I believe God, he didn't handcuff me to anything.
Yeah.
But he put me on a leash.
Yeah, it's good.
And he kind of let the reins loose as he knew, okay, he's prepared for this.
Yeah, that's good.
He'll understand this. As far as my humility, my mom, man.
Yeah.
I love that woman so much, man. That's my, outside of my wife, of course, that is literally one of my best friends. She's been there with me throughout everything. Yeah. And one thing she always used to tell me is Duan, you have to learn. Duan, you have to be able to be teachable. You have to be able to do that. So I've always had confidence, but I've always been humble enough to know that there's always somebody better than me.
That's good.
And that's just been in life. Nobody's just necessarily humbled me, but have you ever been to a hoop session and there's a college hooper in there and you're like, oh, there's levels to this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. There's levels to this. That's me. Like, I know that there's another young entrepreneur, probably younger than me, that mind works 10 times, 20 times better than me, who's way more efficient than me, that could take my moving company right now and take it way beyond what I could ever take it. And knowing that, I know that, okay, God, please don't let me rush this moment. Lord, please, whatever that case may be. Now, I didn't say this when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
It was just like bred in me. And it was just one of those things where I just didn't want to miss the moment. Whether I said it or didn't say it, or it was just natural for me, I just didn't want to miss it. And one thing my mom always used to tell me is relationships can get you into things that money can never get you into.
That's so good.
Ever get you into. And I'm a firm believer on not burning relationships. I might not agree with you, or I might not agree with something you say, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect you, and I'm going to be able to keep that line of communication because I might need you. Yeah. Like, hey, man, I know we didn't have this, but I really need your help on this. And if the relationship is the right way and they truly know your heart, then, I mean, obviously it's between them and God, but I would hope that you know that they would help me in need as well as I would help them in need. And so I just think that, I hope I'm answering your question,
you are,
bro.
Yeah, you're doing a beautiful job,
actually. I think that we're at a time where people don't value relationships, and people are rushing, and it's sad, bro. Yeah, it's sad. Kind of give you more context to it, man. I hire high school kids. Now it's got to either be approved by their parent, or they got to be 17, 18. And talking to these kids, I'm not gonna say their names because I like to keep it anonymous because I don't want just people to know, oh man, you're working with them. Oh, you're only working with them because they're doing this. You know what I mean? So, but the kids that know me and the kids that understand me know that I'm trying to give them game all the time. Like, especially some of the kids that are going off to college right now to play football and things of that nature. I try to make sure that I tell them in the humble way, like, hey, whatever you do, don't act like you're the big dog. Not just football, but just anything in life. Exactly. Don't act like you're the big dog because there's always somebody that's going to be better. Yeah. There's always going to be somebody that can outshine you. And it's not even fair. It's just God's grace over their life that God low-key kind of made them a little bit better. You know what I mean? Kind of like LeBron James. Like, everybody hates on LeBron James, but LeBron has been killing it for 22 years.
Way too long.
And you know what I mean? And, like, it's kind of like, no, God just created him a little bit more speeches. Yeah, he spent a little more, you know. His name's King James, you know. No, I'm kidding, guys. But no, in all seriousness, I think that being humble will open up things that it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter who you're truly connected to. Yeah. God is only going to bless your heart.
That's so good.
He's not going to bless. So he's not going to bless who you pretend to be. He's going to bless who you truly are. I'm not saying that God's going to take his hand off of you or anything like that. But if you're in the right path with God, and everybody tours and everybody doesn't do exactly what God says, but if you stay humble, it'll just do things that I truly can't even explain.
The Bible says he uplifts the humble, tears on the proud.
Yeah, man.
Seems to be a pretty big cheat code.
Yeah, man.
To get into the thing that God wants for you.
I'm telling you, bro. It's there. I hope I answered your question too.
No, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful answer. One of the questions I had is you said you've been in Muskogee for like 31 years.
Yes, sir.
How have you seen it change over time? Like, what did Muskogee look like back then? What does Muskogee look like now? What are some changes you've seen in Muskogee? And I guess a secondary question to that is, what are some changes that you hope to see in Muskogee?
That's good.
That's a great question. What I love about Muskogee, or what I've seen throughout the changes of Muskogee, is they're finally putting the kids first. Not saying that they weren't in the past, but the brand new parks in Muskogee are phenomenal. Like, yeah, I know the gathering places in Tulsa, but like Honor Heights Park is really nice. Robinson Park is really nice. There's just some good things there. As far as Scholastic goes, the only thing I know about high school right now is they have an esports team, and I'm ecstatic about that.
That's dope,
oh
bro.
My God, there's so much.
I didn't know that. That's
cool. I found out picking up my son from my brother-in-law, Mr. Freeman, Andre Freeman, And he had my son, and I went to go pick him up, and he wanted to show the kids this room, and they had an esports room. So we're making changes, and we're in the right stratosphere as far as making changes for Muskogee. The things I would truly like to see is a YMCA type building, not just for basketball, but for volleyball, for indoor soccer. I try to when I think of everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think of just black people. I don't think of just white people. I think of every ethnicity. How could they benefit from this community center? And I think that's what Muskogee is lacking most.
Yeah.
We have a Martin Luther King Center, which is phenomenal and is beautiful, but we need an activity place where people can go play basketball, play some 3-on-3, can go play some what's it called, racquetball with the
pickleball.
not pick.
Well, there's
No.
racquetball. Yeah, racquetball is the one that's inside a building. Where they're slinging it up the wall.
Sling it at the wall. Yeah. Racquetball, indoor soccer again. Just different things that people would like to do. And I think it would build the community up a little bit more too. We'd be able to have a lot more for the kids to do as well.
I love that. It's a beautiful dream.
Yeah, bro. I would just like to see that. As far as mental wise, I feel like we need more grieving groups. I know a couple of them, and I'm not going to say them just because I don't know if they're still active or not. But grieving groups, I feel like there needs a place for us. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
Yep.
Okay. We need a place for you. We a chill spot for you downtown Muskogee. We need a dad spot.
Well, I take one.
You know what I mean? I just feel like there's things that allow us to release, and release in a good way. Release as far as like, okay, today was a good day. As a proud, you're a proud husband and father. Obviously, God in your family is the most important thing to you. But you need a break.
No, you have a place to breathe.
Are you married?
I'm married. I don't have kids, though.
Okay.
Yep.
As a married man, how long y'all been married?
2 years.
2 years?
Yep.
Okay, so y'all are still newlyweds.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? As a you being a newlywed, you need space to think. You need a place to go to where a person that's older than me. I'm only been married. It'll be 8 years.
First off, it ain't just only 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't never touch 8.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Let's
I feel
go,
you,
baby.
You need somebody that has way more experience than me to talk to, and I think those little things, brick by brick, makes the community better in Muskogee. It doesn't just happen with one singular thing.
Yeah,
it's a combination of things. It's a combination of community. I think we're getting there, but there's some things that are blocking it.
Yeah.
I won't say what those things are, but there are some things that are not allowing us to do that, and blocking those connections. And I don't know the answer to that right now. I pray about it daily.
I think that's the answer.
I
think that's the answer.
Yeah,
prayer, bro.
We pray about it daily. And go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm with you. I think the answer is what I'm praying we're building right now is that's what Occupy All Streets is. Like when we were sitting down, Preston and I kind of thinking about the idea of the conference, really processing like what we dream for Muskogee to be. That question you just asked you, like a lot of what you said is just so on my heart, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, it probably doesn't happen in the next 3 years. Like, I mean, I'm not about to put no handcuff on Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, if God want to just show up and make anything happen, He more than welcome to.
Bro, yeah. For sure.
But, like, it probably happens over the next 5 to 10, where these 18-year-olds, 10 years from now, 28-year-olds. So now they're the ones sitting having the conversation you and I are having. What does this city look like in 10 years? If there's a church like TheBrick, if there are people like Duan, who are out here in these streets, living life the best way they know to, being beacons of hope to people in a city that doesn't always produce it, well, it starts becoming produced more often, right?
Yeah.
Hope begets hope. So you get around people that are positive and you start becoming positive. And my hope is this conversation like the one we're having now, Occupy All Streets Conference, the churches in the city that are trying to reach the next generation, the places like the Martin Luther King Center, the money that's getting put into the sports. Like you have all these avenues now where it's like people's eyes are starting to open up to what could be possible.
Yeah.
If you just empower 12 to 18-year-olds in 10 years, those things that are blocking are going to have a whole lot harder time blocking, because then it's just not a few of us fighting up against a wall.
Yeah.
It's a squad of us fighting up against a wall.
It's a squad. That, and when you said that, bro, squad, it brings me back to Noah's Ark. Noah didn't build that in a year, you know. It took more than 10 years too. But I'll call it this: a lot of younger Christians, even some older Christians, because they're still kind of young in their mindset, they're wanting this microwave blessing.
Yeah.
And nowhere does it say in the Bible that this blessing will come quick. I mean, if y'all want to pull that up for me, y'all surely can. But everything is a process.
Come on now.
All the way to you plant a tree seed, that tree's probably not gonna show up for a while. You know what I mean? So if God gives you a seed to plant, how are you gonna rush God on the blessing that He's trying to give you? You know what I mean?
Ooh,
And
that's good, bro.
a lot of I ain't no preacher. I'm not a preacher. But everything takes time, bro.
Come on, Bible says
Everything
Paul
takes
planted,
time,
Apollos
bro.
water, God gives the increase.
Come on.
It's your job to cultivate the seed, to nurture the seed, but God's the one that's about to make that potential
Make
show
it,
up.
bro. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You made a very great point. I don't own Morris Moving Company. God does.
Come on.
And I make sure that people know that
That's good.
every single time. My name might be on Morris Moving Company. My name Morris, which this is my Morris moments. We didn't even get into that. But God runs my company.
Yeah.
God, Jehovah allowed me to be the manager of it.
Come on now.
Just with any of the money that I have. Yeah, I live in a nice house. That's not my house. God has allowed me to live in that house right now. You know, I even tell my son, and he looks at me so crazy, but one of these days he's gonna
It'll click.
It'll click.
It'll click.
But I tell him, son, you're my son here on earth, but you're not my son in heaven. Like, God has given me the opportunity and in the honor to be your father here on earth, and I don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
Come on.
And yes, I'm your father here, and you must honor that, because it says that in the Bible for sure. Honor your mother and your father. But if I don't honor you by taking care of what I need to do, what God tells me to do with you, then I'm dishonoring God as well. And I take it from my kid to my wife, all the way up to my business. I don't own nothing. I'm borrowing everything. God has just allowed me to manage it. And when people understand that,
So good.
bro, it'll unlock, because
It also takes pressure off you.
bro, yes.
Because now he's the one that got to pay the bills.
Yes, bro. And that's what I try to tell people. It's like,
Come on.
they're like, Duan, you got so much going on. How are you not stressed? For one, I'm human, so I do get stressed.
No, yeah.
But knowing that it's God's, I'm like, oh, God, this is yours.
Yeah.
I've done everything humanly possible that I can do. There's nothing else that I can do. You told me that if I handle the things that you tell me, you have to take care of it.
Yeah.
Or if it's time to let it go, we'll just let it go. But yeah, bro,
Come on.
time.
There's so much freedom in all of that right there, bro.
Bro, you know what I mean?
So much freedom in that.
It's just, and a lot of people don't, I'm not going to say a lot of people. There's been a misconception of, I need to get this. I need to get this. How about being like, God, what do you need me to have? Not what can I get from this, or how much money can I make from this, or how can I benefit from this? And a lot of leaders, I'm not going to say Muskogee, I'm just going to say leaders.
Yeah.
To widen they've lost the art of that, or they've lost the sense of that. And I tell people that I'm mentoring, if you do it truly out of the kindness of your heart, and you don't want nothing in return, God's gonna bless you. God's gonna be there for you. And if He can trust you with little, and I still feel like, I know Morris moving, I know you see the trucks moving around, but I still feel like it's a little thing right now, because I haven't even seen what God can truly make Morris Moving Company. You know what I mean?
you
So
still
if
got
He
dreams,
can,
baby.
you know what I mean? So if God can bless me with little, when I get there, if God wants me to get there, I know He's gonna bless me with more. You know, so
I love that.
I hope
love
I
that.
answered those questions for
No,
y'all,
you
man.
answered
Yeah,
people.
you
I got
did.
one last question to
Yeah.
wrap it all up.
Yeah.
All right, so if you were if you were 14, 16, 17, and you're sitting in Occupy All Streets, you're at the conference, you're looking for, what do I do? Like, you're looking for purpose, looking for clarity, looking for a dream. If you could go back and talk to your 16-year-old self, what's one piece of advice you tell them?
Why would you do that? I know. God. Okay. If I was talking to my younger self, I would say that, Duan, you're more inspirational and you have more influence that you know. You're smart, have confidence, and to continue to allow God to use you. I wasn't scared to say that I was a Christian at 16 or anything like that. I feel like I've always had a relationship with God per se, but I don't think that my relationship with God is as loud as it is now.
Yeah.
Not that I'm just like, oh, somebody asked me, how you doing? Oh, God's blessing me. He's doing magnificent things. No, that's good too. But what up, bro? How you doing? You chilling? You chilling, bro? You good? You good? Everything's... I don't have to go that route.
Yeah.
But I would tell myself, pray this prayer that I pray now with my son. I would say, pray this prayer, Lord, guide me. Let your light shine through me so others can see you. And if the opportunity comes up, allow your light to speak through me to bring people closer to you.
That's good, man.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
First off, thank you for giving us the time.
Man, I love y'all,
out here
bro.
building the city.
This is easy.
But let me just encourage you, bro. Like, you're walking the prayer out.
Yeah.
Like I'm different. The city is different. There are students who are different. You're making a really, really special impact, and just your life is like a walking testimony to the goodness of God. So every room you're walking into, you can see it, you can feel it. Like there are people who don't have to say a word to change the room. And you are absolutely one of those people. You step in a room and there's like a difference in there. Like you are absolutely, without a doubt, a thermostat, not a thermometer. You change temperatures of rooms.
Appreciate you, bro.
And you don't do it just for you. Everything you have, you're constantly looking to extend opportunities to other people. And so I think you just getting started, brother.
Bro,
you're going to get to that
you.
much. I promise you. It's already happening, but it's an honor to get to be in a city and do life with people like you who have vision to see God's best for the next generation. Because I think when our boys are older,
come on now,
they're going to be walking in a different kind of city. And it's going to be because God trusted us to get to be the people, to be voices of hope to the city. So, all right, Duan, if they want to follow you, they want to know where you're at. How does somebody get to know you?
Duan Morris on Facebook, Juan Deezy on Instagram. I know I need to grow up. It needs to change.
Please never change. Don't change that at least.
I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. I don't truly get on there. If you want to go to my website, it's www.morrismovingco.net. Morrismovingco.net. My Morris Moments, which we did not get into today. That'll be another podcast.
Yeah,
we'll worry about that on another time. Is morrismomentsllc.com. And you'll be able to book your DJing gigs through there as well. So, yeah, bro.
Yeah, so you can do it. You can be it. You can achieve it. If God gave you the dream, he ain't going to leave you hanging. And Duan is a beautiful testament to that. So if you're listening, if you're watching, all you need is a lean.
Come on,
all you need is a lean, and God will come behind and push. So decide today that this is the last day you don't lean into the thing God's called you to. We love you so much. Yes, thank you for tuning in. Again, like, subscribe, share, and we will see y'all again. Love y'all. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Love you, man.